Hey, what's up, guys? I'm back. I know it's been probably a little bit longer than normal. I'm gonna work on the EE3 again. I got some of the screws in to match the escutcheons. Oh, I said it right. Thanks, Darth Wilder. Yeah. So these are actually, I've already kind of fit them in there into the Webley cast, and they fit beautifully. Let me show you this. Got my Webley cast here. And it's got these little recesses here for the screws, and I was hoping that the heads would fit inside of that. I had no way of knowing for sure. I just took a gamble and bought these, and these are from an M1 carbine. So I actually had to order a pair because I think there's only one of these used per gun. So, but they fit beautifully. I mean, look at that. I mean, like almost no play. They're so tight in there, just enough room around the edges. Now the downside is they're a touch long, and the threading on here is not going down deep enough. So I'm gonna have to get a die and, you know, put some threads down to a little bit further, and then I will be cutting the ends off here and cleaning those cuts up. But this is enough for me to get the drill out and get some holes drilled. And another thing I did notice is, I don't know if it's the holes are a little wonky or whatever, but like they're not perfectly parallel. They're pretty close, but they're let me drop things. Anyway, they're not perfectly parallel. They're not quite straight. Let me show you. See how they're kind of like one's a little off. Not a huge deal, but I can correct it. I'll just have to use my drill and kind of try to. I think it's this. I think this one's fine. I think it's this one that's a little off. It looks like it turns in a little bit. It's not a 90-degree totally. Let me see if I can. It just seems a little bit, you know, off. Like that. Anyway, I'm super excited about this. Alright, and another thing, I got all the T-track cut to length. Now I will need to shape the ends on this side. Right now they're perfectly straight up and down 90-degree cuts. They need to be, there's actually multiple different ways that they could be cut, and so I need to make up my mind which way I want to do it. I'm going to go back and review some photos of the actual prop and kind of compare, contrast on how I want to do it. And so I'm going to shape those, and I'm going to start putting these T-tracks on. Now these 1, 2, 3, 4, those can be attached as is because they don't have an end that's tapered off at the other side. They just 90-degree right here, and that's it. So the rest of them will have to be shaped on the end they will have to be shaped on the end to be able to be attached to the barrel, because this end's got to have a taper. Alright, I just got back from looking at reference photos on the T-tracks to see how they're shaped, what angle and whatnot. Basically I'm seeing two different kinds. I'm seeing one that's a really sharp, acute angle on one of the props, and the other one is more of a curved to about 45 degrees. Neither of them, I don't like the acute angle one. It's a little too sharp, you know. If it's like a 45-degree angle, just straight cut, I would do that in a heartbeat, but that's not what I'm seeing at all. Which means I have to shape the ends freehand, because I'm going to do that curved one. And I'm going to use my little bench grinder for that, or my bench belt sander for that. There we are. They're trimmed. They're not exactly perfect, but neither is the prop. Alright, so before I go attaching those T-tracks, I'm going to do a paint experiment on the barrel. I'm going to use this color, it's a Model Master Exhaust. And I've used it on a few things before. It's a really versatile color, I find. It's almost black, you know, but it has a metallic sheen to it if you buff it. And so I think that would look really good and help match it even more to the Webley cast if I can get it a little bit more metallic looking. So I'm going to try spraying on a part of the barrel real quick that will be covered by T-tracks, just so I can see what it's like and kind of compare it to the Webley. I'll be honest, I can't even really see where I sprayed it, but I know I did like this area on the bottom. I know it's the bottom because I got the screw hole here. But I know a big part of it is you have to buff it. So I got a paper towel here. Hopefully it's dry enough. Oh yeah, it does give a slightly more metallic shine to it. It doesn't pick up on the camera at all. Okay, I think I might give this a coat. It's subtle, but you know, it's something. I think it definitely improves its metallicness. I don't know if that's a word, but new words. Hashtag new word. I know it doesn't pick up on camera, but I'm pretty happy with that. It's a very subtle improvement. It definitely looks a little bit more metallic. Let's see what it looks like on the Webley. Yeah, I'd say that was worth it. That was a little bit of something to make it look a little bit more cohesive. Alright, so off camera, since I had the airbrush running, I went ahead and hit the scope mount blocks with some black, and I gotta reattach those. And I also hit the gribblies that go on the side of the stock with black as well. So they are done. They actually came out really good. I still would prefer something metal or like a finished plastic that doesn't have a texture. I'd try to knock that down as much as I could, but really, it's just, I think it's something about the plastic itself. Like when you sand it, it doesn't seem to get smoother. It just seems to like crumble at the edges. It's weird stuff. It's coming together. I need that on there so I can position those T-tracks. So we're ready to put T-tracks on now. Alright, I'm going to use E6000. I have no idea why it had never occurred to me to use E6000 to attach T-tracks. I'd always been using two-part epoxy, which is super strong, but it's a pain in the butt. And Haloax, buddy Haloax, he's like, hey, you should use E6000. I'm like, that's freaking brilliant. I love that stuff. So, let's go ahead and put the first couple on with E6000. So my E6000, super old. Should probably buy a new thing of it. brilliant. I might need to come up with a clever way to space these. I mean, these two is easy. They have a natural space between them because the block prevents them from getting too close together. But the rest of these, I could just push them too tight and then leave a gap. So I think I need to find like a little shim, like a little piece of paper or cardboard or something. Alright, I found a Parts of Star Wars business card. I'll use that. That'll work. Gotta give everybody a shout out, you know? Yes. You know how long I've been waiting to see it like this? I've been collecting these parts for years. Like 3 years I've been after the parts to build this, so this is pretty exciting. We're so close now. This is a big piece. Wow. Wow. Ah. Yes. Alright, so after being chastised and being called a wuss by Mugatu, I'm going to go ahead and hand drill the Webley and tap the hole because peer pressure, I guess. So give him some grief for that. Okay, this has got to be butted right up against the edge here. Yeah, I really don't like that. The bit does not want to stay where I put it. It wants to bounce around and go all over the place, so I'm going to see if I can put it on the drill press real fast and do it. Alright, I think I got a solution for putting on the drill press. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but, you know, we'll do it. Let's go for it. Alright, so here's what I got. I've got the Webley cast in the vise, and it was sticking down just enough where it was bumping into this table, so I had to put something thin underneath this to prop it up so it could sit just high enough up so it could get lined up under the drill bit. I'm going to spend another moment lining it up because I want it to be perfect, but that seems like it will work for us. Alright, we got a hole. It seems more or less straight. I'm going to go ahead and tap it and hope that it lines up right. Here we go. Let's see what it does. Alright, so I was just a hair off again. I don't know how I keep screwing it up. But it actually kind of works with the way I screwed up the first one. So we're pretty far along now. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. I can line up the two like pretty perfectly on here, and the wings actually line up to the correct places they need to be on each side. So like I said, it works because of my screw up on the first one. It's just a little cockeyed. But it's going to be hard. You're going to be hard pressed to tell unless you look down the sight, which this is going to be sitting on a wall most of the time. And most people aren't going to be paying that close attention to that kind of stuff anyway. You guys all know though. We got a few things to mark off the list again. Glue T-tracks. Attached scope mount blocks. We got both of those on. Attached Griblies. No, attached. Hold on. That was on there twice. That on there is glue. And also attach. Stock. Experiment on wood. So everything left is either the stock or attaching the Griblies. So not much left. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Seems like a lot happened, but really not any more than normal. It's just that these things are starting to fall in place, and so it looks like a huge amount of progress. I'm pretty stoked on how it looks right now. It's basically like the front 2/3 is basically done. I mean, I gotta put a Greebly or two on there, and then attach the scope, but that's nothing. That is really nothing. But I'm not gonna do the Greeblies until the very end, until the stock's totally done. At least for the stock Greeblies. I might attach the triple ejector racks onto the side because those are ready to go as well. So I'll do that in the next video. And I gotta do a couple more wood experiments before I can deal with the stock. And I was gonna drill the holes for the stock, but I think I'm gonna put that off just a little bit. I want to think about how I'm going to deal with the fact that those two screw holes are not straight. The one's kind of going off cockeyed and just a little bit. So I think I can drill it out and straighten it out. If anybody has any suggestions, please let me know before I start hacking into this piece of wood or metal. So anyways, that's it for this video. Check out the blog propchopshop.com, and I will see you guys next time.